When they get to a minute, I'm gonna start. Hey, can you get Second Ezra chapter 9 and 31 and Romans chapter 2 and 14? We're gonna start off with those.
Okay.
Kind. So I'm gonna read this first. I'm gonna open up with this. This is Romans 15 and 4. It's classic precept that we always open up with at camp. This is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. It said, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." Everything that's written in the scriptures is written for our learning, from Genesis all the way back to the book of Revelation. And we are not only just prophets that go out there and prophesy to the wind, right? Prophesy prophecy, but we also are teachers of the Bible, of the Torah. We teach our people how to conduct the Torah properly, right? And you see the title of the lesson, we're going over monogamy versus polygyny, right? Monogamy versus polygyny. Now let's get 2 Ezra chapter 9 and 31 and Romans 2, and let's keep going.
God, this is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 31. It says, "For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever."
So you heard what the Lord said. He says, "I have sown my law in you." When you sow, however you want to look at it, is sow as in knit together, or I have planted a seed of sow. Because that's what, when you go to the etymology of sow, I'm gonna pull it up right quick. When you go to the etymology of sow, it just means seed. All right, so let me pull this up. Oh yeah, right here. I already have it pulled up. So it says sown in the online etymology dictionary. It just says seed, of seed. So the Lord said, "I have sown my law into you," right? I have planted this seed of the law into you. And he said, it's going to grow and bring forth fruit, right? So the Lord has sown his law into us being the Israelites. We're not talking about partial of the law. We're talking about the whole entire law, man. He have sown that into us. And that's why we're going over this lesson, because you got westernized Babylonians who go against polygyny, and they all for monogamy, right? These same people, they don't go against, they're not talking about women's rights. They're not talking about the LGBT community, but they always got something to say about polygyny. But they have no idea that they're actually going against the Bible. And we about to show it how polygyny is a part of the Bible. That's a part of the Lord's will. That's a part of the word of God. Right? So let's get let's keep going. I want to keep going.
Keep going on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Slack here. It says,
can you start at 31 and just run through it?
Okay.
Just for the light.
Oh, I got you. It says, yeah, I do need a little bit of light. Hold on. Okay, so it says, "For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever."
You hear that? Forever. The law. Go ahead.
"But our fathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. And though the fruit of the law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine."
Right. So we wouldn't even have a heritage if we don't have a law. If our heritage is done away with, or it's turned into a religion, the Israelites are done. There's no point of the Israelites no more, because that's what makes us the Israelites. Our heritage, our culture, the law, statutes, commandments that the Lord sown in us, according to verse 31. Let's keep going.
Time. "Yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the things that was sown in them.
Right? So, and shalom, everybody that's tuning in. You see the title of the lesson. We're going over monogamy versus polygyny. Right? You got any questions? Feel free to ask. You got any scriptures to help build the lesson for edification? Post them and we'll get to them. Right? So it said, yet they that received it perished because they kept not the things that was sown in them. All right, now let's get to Romans chapter 2 and 14, and we can get these videos and get into the lesson.
This is Romans chapter 2, verse 14. Romans chapter 2, verse 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves.
So you got to understand, it was a point in time, all of us came over here. We're in the Americas, the western side of the earth, from the eastern side of the earth. So we was Gentiles until we was woken up into the knowledge of the truth. There are certain things that we do according to the law, and we never knew that it was according to the law. Like we always bring out Leviticus 2 and 7, how the Lord commanded us to fry chicken. On the western side of the world, we frying chicken, but over there we was frying lamb. Right? That's a law that the Lord sown in us that we always kept. Right? And the topic of the lesson, polygyny, right? How, the Israelite man, the so-called black man, he's labeled as a dog. He's labeled as scandalous, all of these different terms, because he has God's law sown in him. And it's a problem. And this is what makes us hate it, because, the world has been programmed to be monogamous. And there's nothing wrong with being monogamous. If you want to be monogamous, it's not a sin to be monogamous. But you cannot go against it because it is a part of God's law. All right. Now let's get into these videos.
I got to precept real quick because you said something.
But before you get into it, I want to touch on this precept. So it says, for when the Gentiles which have not the law, right? When we came over here, we didn't have the laws of God. We came over here naked. They didn't even want us to have our own attire on. Shalom, the chosen one, Jacob. Shalom, Melodic Tunes, LLC. Shalom, Mahar. Right, and everybody else that's tuning in. But it says, for when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature, we do by nature the things that are contained in the law. And like the topic, polygyny, men dealing with multiple women. Now, I will say that our men are doing it wrong, like with threesomes and stuff. The way that they handle themselves and conduct themselves according to polygyny is wrong. But the foundation of them having more than one woman is not wrong, and that's according to the law. Right, so it says, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. They didn't understand our men don't understand why they want multiple women. Why you think our men walking around crying? I didn't have it. I didn't done it. I didn't had brothers, friends in the world that they came to me crying, bro, I don't know why I can't. I don't know. I love this girl though, man. I don't want her to leave, but I can't stop messing with her. Now I understand. You was beating yourself up over something that was right. You was just doing it wrong. And you see how the world treat us for wanting to obey God's laws. But go ahead, King. You said you had something.
God, that was well said. This is for 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, this second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. So this is what it's doing. It's stirring up our pure minds, because he read in 2nd Ezra, the law was already in us, right? So it's already in us, and it's just stirring up our pure mind. It's stirring up our pure mind by way of remembrance, just like the spirit, like it talked about in 2nd Ezra, that spirit growing in our breast, right? And that's what it's doing. It's stirring up our pure minds by way of remembrance, so that we can come back and do all of this in righteousness. Like he said, men were doing these things before the wrong way in unrighteousness, but we're doing it. We're going to start doing this in righteousness. And yeah, that's all I got. I lost some train of thought, but go ahead. That's all I got.
God, I'll praise it. So we're going to play a couple videos, and then we're going to get, we can get into the lesson.
What's going on, y'all? Hey, you see the unit in the kitchen. I got my wives working together right here. I got my wife Ruth right here helping the children. Say hey. I got Zion. Say what's up, Zion. I got my wife Sarah. Say hey, Sarah. Hey, what Bathsheba? My wife Bathsheba. What about Susanna? Hey, say hey. And he go my new wife right there. Hey, Don. Don, say hello. There go my wife Don right there. Hey, there go my big girl Grace. Say hey, Grace. We getting it ready for the children. We about to feed the children. Say what's up, Isaac. That's my boy Isaac. That's Obin. Say hey. There go Samson. Say what's up. Look at Samson. There go my girl Rachel. Say hey. There go my girl Becca. Say hey, Becca. That's my baby. There go my big girl. She been out there playing, so she's sweating. That's Miriam. Then we even got my baby girl Leah right there. Say hey, baby girl. So look, just showing you we can work in unity. These women ain't in no competition, man. We building a legacy, man.
You heard what he said. He said we building a legacy. And guess what? Since he got all the women, I bet you everybody, not just the man, everybody's job is easier. They got more time to go do the things that they want to do. Think about it. If it's just you and the man, the woman and the man, y'all have so much to do. Y'all tired, y'all sleepy. Y'all can't even do what y'all got to do for the kids. Y'all can't take the kids out. But if you got a foundation, you got an empire of that, it'll make everything easier. You be like, hey, you go do this, you do this, whatever the case is, and you go handle this, and then this creates room for us to do what we want to do and not have to rush through it, because then we got to get back to, if it's just me and you now, we got to go. I mean, I'm gonna just say it like a man. We got to go get a quickie in, and then we got to get right back to doing this hard, laborious work. I'm not talking about the job. I'm talking about everything that goes around the house, the bills, and want to go run errands and all this. Come on, man. But our people go against this, and this is man and woman that go against this. In the nation, they go against this. But that's a beautiful family right there, that he is showing you the Israelite family that we once had, man, that we are coming back to. You want to say something, King?
Yes, sir. So I love showing this video. I said that every time I talk about women, I definitely want to show this video either before the lesson or after the lesson. It has to be shown because we're supposed to show an example, right? Let me get the scripture real quick. It just came to my mind. This is Judith, chapter 8 and verse 24. It says, now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend on us. So those of us that have the understanding, this is important. We need to see this. That video needs to be shown. Right? There's 7 women in the kitchen. He said there's no competition. There's no competition. That is a beautiful, righteous sight to be seen, man. That needs to be seen as an example. Sometimes our people just need to see it, right? We just need to see that. So that is a beautiful thing, and I'm gonna finish it out. I'm gonna read it again. It says, now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend on us, and the sanctuary and the house and the altar rests upon us. And it does rest upon us, those of us that have an understanding, including the women. Those women, because you be surprised how many women that actually have they have a mature mindset. There's a lot of our women that do not have a mature mindset, but there is a lot of women, or I say some women, that actually have a mature mindset enough that they can be sisterly one to another. Now we know when we see the scriptures and it speaks in a masculine form, it says, love thy neighbor as thyself, or brotherly love. They don't never really apply that to a sister, but it's also talking about our women. Our women need to be sisterly too, right? So how do you think you're going to be judged when it's all said and done, and you can't be sisterly to your sister? You can't be a real sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have jealousy and hatred. You got to be in competition all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, like I said, man, I love seeing this video. I love it being played. I wanted Zion. I was like, man, just play it while we talking, because that needs to be seen every time. Anytime brothers do a video on women, man, this stuff needs to be seen, because it says their hearts depend on it, right? And it's true. Our hearts depend on it. But that's all I got. Oh, wait. Oh, Slakia. Hey, I wanted to bring out these 7 points, if you don't mind. It's real quick, because it goes along with what you've been saying. So these are 7 points. Hold on, Slakia. These are 7 quick points. I probably should have presented it so people can see it, but it's 7 positive points on polygyny. 7 positive points on polygyny. Now, this is just quick. I just did this. So I was just thinking about it. A bigger family, and this is what we see right here. A bigger family. It says more income, right? More income. It says another opinion on ideas. They say 2 is better than 1. The scriptures say that. Now just imagine having 7, right? You can't lose. You got a whole team behind you. Okay? It says another opinion on ideas. Another person in your life to push you to be better. Another person in your life to push you to be better. Number 6, more support. Number 7, more time to yourself, right? More time to ourselves. A lot of sisters don't always get that. So you see that in a polygyny relationship where a woman, she's not so stressed out. And we know the scriptures say stress brings forth old age. And it does when the person's all stressed out, when the woman's all stressed out. But then she got some more help. She's looking vibrant, right? She's looking youthful. She's looking beautiful because she's not as stressed on, I got to stay up and take care of these kids. Oh, my life is burdened down with kids. Hey, there was another video that I had seen where this white lady, she was saying how she was talking about slavery, how white women didn't like slavery because it said that women felt like slaves to the children. So they wanted black women to be the mothers, the surrogate mothers, right? And that's a true feeling. A woman can be that. She can feel that, where she's just burdened down all the time with children. She don't never have time for herself. That's a real issue, right? And that's all I got. I don't want to take too much time. Go ahead.
Hey, but if you got 7 of them, like this brother,
Right.
they can take turns. And nobody's stressed out. Nobody feels their self-esteem is low. Nobody, come on, man.
Right.
I mean, you got people that actually go against this. You got people that actually go against this, bro. All right, so look, I had a precept for what you said earlier. Sirach chapter 26:6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. It creates a grief of heart because the man understands. The man understands that what this builds, what this creates, how much things we can get done, like what we explaining. Most of the time, women don't understand this. You got to understand polygyny, Isaiah 4:1. This is a sifting agent in the truth for women who really have jealousy, envy, and all the hatred and wrath in their heart. This is a sifting agent. When you go over this, a lot of women hate this, man. And this is God's will. This is God's word. This is the will of the Lord, man. But it says a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And that's you, because you got to think about it. The woman is supposed to be the man's peace. So if it says a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another man, over another woman, you're bringing that man down instead of putting him in a position where he can actually be a man of the Lord. And it says in a scourge of the tongue, which communicated with all. She lashing out at everybody because she's so jealous. She ain't listening to nobody. This is how you know this pertains to us. These is talking about our people, because this is what our people do, man. Even white women, they be knowing it. And I'm speaking specifically about rich white people. They be knowing that they husband, when they go out on these trips and all that, they be knowing they with another woman, but they don't really say too much. But our women go crazy, man. They go crazy. They go nuts, man. All right, you had another video though, right?
Yes, sir. Got some more.
Women are not intellectually capable of making their own decisions properly to safeguard themselves.
The average black woman in America.
So like it, hey, y'all, hey, this video is heavy. I'm not gonna keep stopping it because I'm gonna, this is Captain. This video is heavy, man. Hey, it would be wise, it would behoove you to bring out or just go back over this video again, man, because this is a tough video right here. You know what I'm saying? Be taking notes, man. Go ahead, though, play it.
Women are not intellectually capable of making their own.
Hey, and what she's saying about how, matter of fact, just go ahead. I'll speak on it in a second.
Women are not intellectually capable of making their own decisions properly to safeguard themselves.
The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. We cut off at about 14 to 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
It's actually called regression. And regression is when a person is triggered, they actually revert into their inner child. And then when you add in damaged neuroception, which is what the first young lady was talking about, this means you have an inverted sense of reality, which means you think bad boys are good and good guys are bad. So what does a woman do with this information? Every woman needs a husband. And if you're out here single, especially if you have kids, you are doomed just being out here by yourself without a man to actually regulate your emotions and to guide you and to keep you from not only ruining your life, but ruining your child's life.
Hey, and this has a lot of potential to it, because if you think about it, now we're not saying all women, we're just saying some. You got to think about it. When women, a lot of the majority of women, all they want to do is shop. They want to do things that causes spending money, and not even understanding that money is actually a defense. It's not to just parade and spend money. That's why they flock to men that got money, because they like, in their mind, I can spend all this money. That's all they think about is I can spend all this money. Another thing, when they don't get their way, what do a woman do? She get the pouting, she get the acting like a child, like your child would act. So what she said had a lot of potential to it. It's not all the way correct, but it has a lot of potential to it, man. You want to touch on it, King?
Yes, sir. Hey, so he said, I'm gonna start backwards, kind of, because I should have took my own advice, but he said regression, and regression, what it sounds like to me, as a matter of fact, because I don't even know. Can we look that up? Can we look that word up? Because I ain't gonna pull this word up, regression. I believe that's exactly what he just said. So I want to look this word up. But to me, what regression sounds like is you get offended, right? You get offended and you start to revert back to a childlike state, right? So go ahead and read that for me. This is my first time. I don't know what it says. So
it says regression, a return to a former or less developed state.
Read that for me one more time.
A return to a former or less developed state.
A return to a former or less developed state. That is crazy. So to me, when a person now, I think that can happen to anybody, but right now the topic we're talking about is women. So that happening to women, they're returning to a less developed state. They're going to have a hard time getting a good understanding on what needs to happen, what needs to be brought out. But I think, from my understanding by how he was talking, regression sounds like someone that got hurt or got offended or got insecure, and they revert back to an undeveloped state. Now, the key word is undeveloped. It's not fully developed. So in order for it to be developed, they have to regain new information, just like Shahrazad Ali said. They have to gain new information, get better understanding, right? Our women get so triggered by insecurity. We know that's plaguing Israel, is insecurity, jealousy, competition. That's just huge, man. And really what this lesson is sisterly love, right? Loving your neighbor as yourself. This is really what this lesson is. If you really have ears to hear and eye to see, you can really see that this is a spiritual lesson talking about sisterly love. And that's all I got, because I don't even remember the other points so much. But yeah, go ahead, King.
You can play the other video. Hey, and we just bringing out these videos. This is not, we haven't even really got into the lesson yet. Let me say that. But go ahead, King.
There is no history of the black man settling down with one woman,
right,
and never desiring to have another. Before
right.
slavery, during slavery, or after slavery. The black man has never been recorded to have just one woman.
Right. Well, I think there's some action facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have
so pause it right there.
So
if you listen to this goes back to the first two precepts that I brought out. And that's 2nd Ezra chapter 9, 31 through 33, and Romans chapter 2 and 14, where the Lord said he's sown his law into us. And he said it's going to bring forth fruit. So the law is sown within us. This is why they're explaining it like this. Like, it's never been recorded for men that have more. Now, there's individuals here and there, but us as a nation of people, the so-called blacks, which is the Hebrew Israelites, we deal with more than one woman, always have. I mean, that's just what it is. But like I said earlier, we known as dogs, and this is how they push monogamy on us. This is how they push women's rights on us. But if you a man, bro, and you know the law, and you know it says in the law you can do that, bro, don't be afraid. And when I say don't be afraid, God said you can do it. Now, I will say it's not for everybody. It's not. But God said you can do it, man. Don't be afraid of no woman. If that, hey, whatever the Lord's will is, let it be done, man. But go ahead.
They do. I'm not talking about fornication and
okay, so Salakia. So just a little bit of background on Sharzar Ali. She gets a lot of pushback from women. Like if you hear her speak, she's talking about this is not what I'm saying. This is what they're doing. That's what she said. Because she gets a lot of hate. She gets a lot of hate. A lot of women just really hate and don't like her. I think she kind of had to like chill out for a minute because it was so much. But if you listen to them, all these videos that we've been talking about, it's what women are getting is a protection. It's not just a physical protection. Yes, that's one part of it, but the other part is spiritual. The other part is spiritual, and which is most important is that spiritual protection. And let me get this precept real quick. Sirach chapter 24. You gonna get it for me? Okay. Sirach chapter 24 and 36. Sirach 36, 24 to 25.
34.
Sirach 36, 24 to 25. So again, like what we're hearing when we really listen, because if you've been in the truth for any amount of time, people really know that just on like just basic Israelites is pretty well tuned with listening. They do a really good job of listening to detail. So I really want y'all to try to listen with detail and see what's being said. And what we're seeing is that women are getting protected. They're getting protected. Just like if you go like Captain DeBar, when I don't know if did you pull Isaiah 4:1 out?
Not yet.
Okay, so you can pull it out
if you want to.
I'll wait, but you pull that out in different translations. It gives a really good understanding on how women are going to get protected too. But go ahead, King.
This is Sirach chapter 36, verse 24. Sirach chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
It says getteth a possession. Go ahead.
A help like unto himself. A pillar of rest.
Come on.
Where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled.
Where what?
There the possession is spoiled.
Where what? Where
no hedges, there the possession is spoiled.
So where no protection is, there the possession. Let me put it to you in a layman's terms. Where no righteous man is, there the woman is spoiled. There the woman is taken. There the woman is destroyed. Right? Go ahead.
And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I got. So let's go ahead and get back into it.
History of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. This is just what they do. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about one night stands and running around rampant with other women. That's not the kinds of when I say more than one woman relationship. Mm-hmm. I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy.
So I want y'all to pay attention to what she just said. She says we have not, before we came over here, we didn't know about monogamy. Now, there's some truth to it, and that's why I'm bringing it out now before I forget. You got to understand, the only how we knew about monogamy as a nation is the Greco-Roman Empire. That's why you don't see polygyny in the New Testament, because we was under the rulership of the Greco-Roman Empire. The same people that came and got us and brought us over here, these are Greco-Romans here, and they're pushing the same doctrine. And I'm actually bringing it out that they are the creators of monogamy. All right, but go ahead.
The one woman relationship. I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. All right. After coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society and the mores that the Americans made up here. And so then we started to have problems with that. But I think that since it is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. I got tons of mail. A lot of black men write and tell me that they have had two women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have two families.
Would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that robs you of something, you would want to know that if he loves her.
So you can stop it right there. So that's all we're going to get on that one. So you heard what she said, though. Rewind that part just a little bit where it talks about where she said, if you want to deal with the reality of it, like, is it robbing you of something? What is it? It's actually freeing up time and all kind of things for you to do what you want to do, not need to do. We're not talking about what you need to do. Well, yeah, we are. What you need and want to do. Because you got to get the things you need done to do what you want to do. That makes sense. And this is what she like, bro. If we dealing with reality, because think about it, bro. A monogamous relationship today here in 2023, it doesn't. Why you think they're fighting so much? Why you think they're doing? Because America has pushed all of this. They suppressing us, depressing us, and oppressing us. Bills, bro. You forget that you got bills. You forget that your water bill due. You forget your gas is due. Your car note, your insurance, your rent. You got all in the things that you want, like rent a center, all of these things. And you forget because, it's just a man and a woman and they trying to please each other at the same time. They got the kids. But if you had what we just seen the first video, you wouldn't, bro, that would kill so much because you can give them all subject things to do. But you cannot tell this is how this is, like I said, this is a sifting agent for men and women. This is a sifting agent. Straight up, man. Because a lot of people are not going to agree with it. No matter how we break it down, they're not going to agree with it. And that's cool. But here it is. They don't got nothing to say. They speak about polygyny. They don't speak about women's rights, though. They don't speak about the LGBTQ community. They don't talk about none of that. It's just polygyny. They hate it. And this is in the law, and I'm actually bringing it out in a second. But I wanted to bring out women's rights, right? Let me pull up.
Hey, can we play that little bit, that little part?
Yes, sir.
Perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man.
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that robs you of something,
and that's where women's rights come in, right there. Women's rights. That's where it comes in. That's what they've been pushing over here in America this whole time. And I got a precept for that too, man. Go ahead, Ken. You said you had something.
And a lot of times, a lot of our women, when they get older, I know I spoke to a lot of older women. I'm talking about women, up there, right? And they also, they'll say that it sounds like what I've heard from older women, mature women. They're like, as long as he's taking care of me, or they sound developed, right? They sound mature, and because they know what's more important. The most important thing is being taken care of, is being protected, right? They're not being mistreated. They're still being loved, right? Having love for one another, having love for your sister. They're not missing that. But then they have to, they'll revert back to, oh, wait, We in America. So, how is that going to look? Some of them have. You'll see some of them, they'll be like, oh, wait, I'm in America. I should be selfish because,
I don't got to accept that.
Everybody else is doing it. And this is what I should do, regardless of what the Bible say. Regardless of the Bible say, love thy neighbor as thyself. Regardless of the law say it don't matter. I'm doing what I'm doing to start being selfish again. But she said a lot of good things, man. Y'all get some opportunity. I think Priest Sabak has brought out Sarzar Ali before too. She does a really good job on, trying to develop the Black woman in the mind and spiritually on understanding that this is what's going to happen. The world's coming to the point to where women they ain't gonna have no choice but to do this, especially our women, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. By the route things are going, you got our men in jail, you got homosexuality, you got all types of other things that's plaguing our people, the disease, HIV, all types of stuff that's plaguing our people. They ain't gonna have no choice. This is the choice that they're gonna have, is just to pair up, and when they pair up, you got to be ready to be mature, be ready to be developed, be ready to share, be ready to be sisterly, right? That's all I got though.
So I want to show.
Like I said,
I wanted to go over because you heard what she said. Can you play it one more time out? So we be on track. Can you play it one more time?
I want to share what I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man.
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that robs you of something.
See what the other woman is talking about. She's like, we talking about, I'm not sharing my money, my this with my man. That's where women's rights come in. Because the woman is explaining, like, before all of this on the west side of America, we wasn't doing this. And it wouldn't be nothing you would be able to do on the west coast of Africa talking. You wouldn't be able to call the police, man. You wouldn't be able to do none of that. You wouldn't be able to run rapid, busting out windows and doing all. You wouldn't be able to do none of that, man. That's only on the west coast of the world. So let me pull up my screen right quick.
Hey, also, when the lights go out, hey, the whole dynamic, the whole energy, the whole story, their mouthpiece, everything is gonna start changing. Like it never even happened, man. When we done went through hell trying to piece this together.
And that's Isaiah 4:1.
It's gonna be like it never happened, man.
So it says women's rights. It says rights that promote a positive or legal. It's a positive, but we know ain't nothing positive about women's rights, because the woman even explained to you how women don't mature over 14. Now that's another bamboozle that we got. It's just like saying happy wife, happy life. The same thing goes about, a woman matures faster than a man. Like that is crazy right there. But the world believes this, and this is where we come in. But it says rights that promote a position of legal and social equality of women with men. Women's liberation, which is women's freedom, post-feminism, and womanism. Now, I got it on the Wikipedia also, and I'm going to just read just this section right here. So it says, Salakia, women's rights are the rights and entitlements claimed for women and girls worldwide. They formed the basis for the women's right movement in 19th century and the feminist movement during the 20th and 21st centuries. In some countries, these rights are institutionalized or supported by law. Either or. We know in Ishmael, we know Ham, they don't support this. They don't support it. But you got some countries like China, they do. They support monogamy. They one of the first ones after Esau who made it law, monogamy a law. But it says local customs and behavior, whereas in others, they are ignored and suppressed. They differ from broader notions of human rights through claims of an inherent historical and traditional bias against the exercise of rights by women and girls in favor of men and boys. It says issues commonly associated with notions of women's right include the right to bodily integrity, and this is what we got today. The women have the right to have no, this is why you got women like fucking Sexy Red. You got women like Cardi B. You got women like Megan Thee Stallion. You got women like Glorilla. This is bodily integrity, right? Lizzo, all those kind of women. This is women's rights. You see what it's doing to our women, no? Ice Spice, whatever her name is. This is what women's rights do. And you see what they talking about. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing for you, man. And they actually stopping reproduction. It says in autonomy, to be free from sexual violence, to vote. This is what women's rights promote. To vote, to hold public office, to enter into legal. And think about this. I mean, let's just be real here. The Bible said, if you believe in the Bible like you say, it says, the Bible says the woman is the weaker vessel. Now, I'm not saying there was women in the Bible that wasn't judges or they didn't hold a high statue. But in general, in America, where women's rights, that means a woman can think and do whatever she wants, and she's holding public office, she's going to judge you. If she's a judge, like Judge Judy judge you off of how she feel. She just judge you off how she feel. She'd be like, shut up. Don't say anything else. Case dismissed. And it's like, what the fuck? You don't even get the story. And guess what? She is one of the highest paid judges on this earth, man. Women, I mean. So that's another one. To enter into legal contracts, to have equal rights in family law, right? Child support. She can go file child support, and it's the letter in your door. You owe this much. Versus the man doing it, because the woman, there's deadbeat women out here, but they don't hold up as much as women do, because women's rights has to be promoted, right? And can you give me Genesis 3 and 5, one of y'all? But it says family law, to work, right? To fair wages, or equal pay. Why is it like this? Because women don't have the same job. You don't see, women shouldn't be out there in the oil fields working with us. They shouldn't be doing construction with us. Because guess what? While you working, you gotta pay too much attention to her, because she's a woman. But this is what has been promoted here. And I know I sound like a what do they call a sexist? Me personally, I don't care about that. You can say whatever you want. This is the Bible here. It says to have reproductive rights. So what do you think about that? Reproductive rights, meaning until they can get rid of that baby. Do you think that's right, that a woman has that authority? Here it is. The man has the semen, and he has to put it in something to produce children. But then the woman can be like, nah, nigga, you ain't acting right. You ain't acting how I want you to act, so I'm getting rid of this. That's how a woman take away all the rights of a man. That's how a woman controls a man, and y'all know it. It says to own property and to education. So that's what that's what women's rights is. You have something you want to say, out?
I mean, you said something about the whole, when you said, women shouldn't be working. I know women are going to hate that, man. But it's,
in construction, he said.
Oh, in construction. Hey, but still though, just with men, because it causes a lot of problems and a lot of unnecessary issues. You got like what? Work husband or work wife.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is straight abomination, man. What are you talking
Straight
about?
Up.
You know what I'm saying? You got I've seen it. Like, I'm like, man, because once you start getting into the Bible, you start getting into the laws and how you're supposed to delegate yourself, how you're supposed to be, you start to see a lot of the wickedness of the world. And man, it's very bad, man. I'm like, wondering what that household looks like, because I see it personally in my work, where this girl, I'm like, man, like there's a guy that come pick her up, but then when she's at work, she all over this one other guy. I'm like, man, that's some straight up abomination, man. That's sad.
When I was in the world, bro, and it's a brother, he in the truth now. But I've seen women fornicate at the job while her husband is outside in the car waiting on her to get off.
Yeah.
And she and her fornicate. This is a real thing, bruh. This is women's rights, though.
I do got a precept though. If you
I got the Genesis 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I got that
Okay,
Genesis 3 and 5, and then you can bring out yours.
Okay.
Bring out that Genesis 3 and 5, because I want to show y'all women's rights in the Bible. Do I need to get it? Can I get it? So this is Genesis 3 and 5.
We got it. We got it.
It's all good. Y'all go ahead. So this is Genesis 3 and 5. It says, for God doth know, and this is the serpent talking to the woman, right? Eve. Now, when we look at it in modernization, the serpent is Esau, Eve is still Eve, right? It says, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open. Open to what? It says, and ye shall be as gods. Now, when you go into the blue letter of this word gods, it's the same gods as matter of fact, let me just pull it up. Let me show you. And women don't have this power because the Most High didn't give the women this power. But this is Genesis 3 and 5 for gods. Right here. Look what it says. Elohim or Elohim or Elohia. It says rulers, judges, divine ones. There's no way women should have that power, because that's not the order of the Lord according to 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. That's not the order of the Lord. But this is what the serpent said he would give the woman. If she, this is him coming through with his promise. The modern day serpent Esau, the spirit, this is him coming through with his promise, making the woman as gods. Now women can tell you, "Now I don't want the baby. Now I don't want to do that. Now I don't want to do that. I ain't gotta obey God if I don't want to. I don't gotta, bro." This is the woman being as God. This is women's rights in the Bible, Genesis 3 and 5. So I'm gonna read it. It says, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, right, to the decisions that they can make. It's wrong according to the Bible, but they still can make these decisions. If you read 1 Timothy 5 and 6, it says, the woman that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. She don't understand that. But that's what the Bible says. She dead already. Why? Because she disobeying the words of the Most High God, and she's living off the strength and power of Esau and his kingdom, the serpent. Instead of saying, like Moses, he said that he'd rather suffer with his people than enjoy the moment. What did it say? A season of sin for a moment or something like that. Roughly paraphrasing. Right. That's what she doing. She'd rather like, man, I'm going out. I'm rocking. And she's taking everything that Esau got, the serpent got to give her. It says, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Straight up, this is women's rights in the Bible, right? Giving them the right to be as gods, women's rights, Eve's rights, whatever. But go ahead. You had something?
Yes, sir. All right. So this is, I got two precepts real quick. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Right? So this is spiritually coming out of the nation that we're in and the mindset, because we got to come back to this righteous and holy mindset and get out of this Western mindset. This Western mindset is killing everybody. It's destroying everybody. And I wanted to bring this out too for a specific reason. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. And I brought that out because if you're joined together in the same mind of this nation, you're going to receive that judgment, just like it talked about in Revelations 18. You're going to receive the judgment or receive the plague that is brought upon this people, right? So we gotta this world is this westernized world, man, is just destroying us, and we gotta come out of her, man. Just come out of her spiritually, and that's the point I wanted to bring up. If you talking, we can't hear you.
Fine, Salakia. So, like the brother said, so what I wanted to bring out right here is monogamy as policy, right? Because it was a policy amongst the Greco-Roman Empire, and I'm actually gonna bring it out, but we got to understand, right? The thing we have to understand, we don't come from here. Like I brought out earlier, we come from the east side of the world where polygyny is practiced regularly. And I thought I had it pulled up. I thought I had it pulled up already. It might have been this. Yeah, right here. If you see, this is the west side of the world right here. If you looking, and it says right here in the black, polygyny is illegal and practice is criminalized. This is where women's rights and monogamy is promoted. This is America and Latin America, right? And then you got over here where polygyny is legal in certain regions. Polygyny is legal for Muslims only. Polygyny is illegal, but the practice is not criminalized. These is all the areas right here. Now, like I said earlier, China was which is right here, was one of the people after Esau that banned polygyny. They practice it in the Bible. They practice it, but they follow in the ways of Esau, and they banned it too. And you have it right here. All they gotta do is just go research, man. That's all you gotta go do. Right? But monogamy as policy, it says socially imposed monogamy was first established in ancient Greece and Rome. Now we know damn well we ain't supposed to be following them anyway. The brother just read where it says come out of her. Right? And America is a mixture of all the nations. Egypt, the back of the dollar, Babylon, the structure, the Assyrian, which is their army. Assyria was known for their army. Persian and Medes, Greece. It's a lot of stuff dealing with Greece. Rome, Spain, France, all of those nations. America has a mixture of all of them. That's why you got all these different languages here too. It's a big ass melting pot. But it says socially imposed monogamy was first established in ancient Greece and Rome. Even if sexual infidelity with concubines and slaves was largely tolerated, right? It wasn't criminalized. One of the plausible reasons, as explained by R.D. Alexander in The Biology of Moral Systems, was that monogamous groups were advantaged militarily over polygamous groups. Imposing monogamy meant that fewer men would leave a group to search for wives elsewhere. This is what they feared. It says, and would be available to fight in battles and pay taxes. Now, this is the point I wanted to get from here on. As Christianity emerged in the Roman Empire, remember when they came over here, if you read the book Devastation of the Native Indies, this is what they, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it out right quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay, go on. Hey, also just to light me back off of that, and you're going into the northern kingdom, which is beautiful. One of the elders, he did a video. I think he's all the way in Turkey, but he did a video on the native Indians showing how Crazy Horse, Geronimo, all of these high regard, renowned men, they all practice polygyny. They all practice polygyny. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people, even a lot of native Indians don't know that. You know, that these native men over here in America practice polygyny.
Okay. So I got this. This is Devastation of the Native Indies, right? This is what happened when the what is his name? Cristobal Colon. That's his real name, Cristobal Colon, Christopher Columbus. When he came over here, they brought Christianity over here. They made it seem like they knew the Bible and nobody else did, not knowing that the people that you messing with are the real children of Israel who actually know the Bible, right? So it says, and this is page 21, it says, hence conquistadors ignored priests, disregarded royal orders, and as lions and tigers, hungry for a long time, devoured the lamb-like Indians. I'm gonna drop down a little bit. It says the suggestion never arises, for example, that Indians just be left alone. It says they were to use his phrase, good enough to be Christians and to be integrated into Christian society. We talk about when they first came over here, when they was destroying the Native Americans. This was their stilo, as we're introducing you to Christianity. It says, yet, what did it mean to be a Christian? Lacasas implied, because it was nothing about the Bible. It was you bow down to the Bible, which was the Pope, right? Or the King of Castile, or you die. That was Christianity. That's why you see blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they just believe Christianity. They don't even know what the hell it is. They don't even know. They don't know nothing. Right? It says, Lacasas implied that, it says, yet what did it mean to be a Christian? Lacasas implied that was unclear to the Spaniards living in the Americas, but it was clear to him. So they didn't even know, the people that was over here, the so-called conquistadors, the Edomites that came over here, they didn't even know what it was to be a Christian. They enforced Christianity by way trying to use the Bible. And it was just all horrible, man. If you read this book, you know what it's saying in this book, man. But I'm gonna keep going right here. It says, as Christianity emerged in the Roman Empire, right? This is when they came over here. In the first centuries AD, it embraced monogamy and took it further, right? And they came over here, insisting that two people must reserve their bodies and desires for each other, right? Because like the brother was going over earlier, I believe that's what he was going over, is the Native Americans, they practice polygyny. That is facts. You can go into the history of that.
God.
Right? And there wasn't no STDs or none of that.
That's right.
Esau brought that over here. Man, I'm gonna say it like Esau brought that over here, man.
Salaki.
Them niggas is the ones, you gotta understand where STDs come from. STDs simply come from animals, man. They try to say you the first one that had sex with a monkey. No, them niggas are known for having sex with animals. I pull up an article right now. It was a boy, he got caught. His mama walked in on him and he was raping his dog, man. He pinned his dog to the couch and she said, the mother said it was blood everywhere. And he pulled out a gun on her and said, you better not say nothing. They are known for that, man. We, like the lady said earlier, we probably known for being whoremongers and sleeping with multiple women and all this, not doing it right according to the law. We don't fuck with animals, man. That's just facts. Go ahead, dog.
Damn, you kind of, that threw me off. That story threw me off.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. All right, so right, Elder went into a video on the Native Indians having multiple wives, and he was saying like the reason why they didn't have, another reason why, because you mentioned animals, which is true. Another reason why they didn't have a lot of STDs is because the women were loyal to that man. They were loyal to that man, which we don't have that anymore. But they were loyal to that man, and they didn't go sleep around. And he went into the fact of how a woman's, vagina is a womb, right? And he goes into explaining how it's supposed to be. But when a man is loyal, or when a woman's like it, when the women are loyal to that man, there is no sexually transmitted diseases. And then he goes into those sexually transmitted diseases and breaking all that stuff down. Also, another thing that you had mentioned about how a lot of people didn't even know, they didn't have a good understanding of Christianity. I seen a video of this girl. It's kind of going back to this. This is what's happening in this world today. This lady, she said, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in the Bible. Huh?
That's crazy.
Huh? What's happening, bro? What's going on? She's a Christian, but she don't believe in the Bible. That's exactly what you sound like you read.
That is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? What is happening, bro? But God, that's all I got.
All right, guys, so I'm gonna finish this. It says, insisting that two people must reserve their bodies and desires for each other. marriage becoming an everlasting threesome with God. These niggas always create something. It was Christianity that spread. It didn't say it was being a Christian. It says it was Christianity. We know those are two different things. Being a Christian and Christianity, those are two different things. But it says it was Christianity that spread monogamy throughout the Western world. Oh, you got to hold on to this. You got to embrace this. This is not your culture, your heritage. Now, like I said earlier, it's not a sin if you just want one woman, but don't go against brothers who don't. And that's just straight up.
That's right.
It says it was Christianity that spread monogamy throughout the Western world, even as it struggled to fully justify its monolithic order on romance. Because they tried to make it seem like monogamy was the real romantic way of doing things. But we already knew the Lord already said, I sold my law into you. So we wasn't understanding what they was trying to bring. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, so you're trying to tell me I don't love my wife? Or you trying to tell me I don't love my other wife? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Straight up. But it says, and it finishes it off, it says, no biblical passages explicitly prohibit multiple partners or wives. Straight up. Nowhere in the Bible. And that's what we about to get into right now. You got something out?
God, I get it. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
God. So like I said earlier, we got to acknowledge that we come from the eastern side. Let me put this down for a second so I can stay focused. So, Salaki, we have to acknowledge. Let me see hold on.
Hey, are you on pause?
I got some.
Okay, are you on pause for? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to just leave the comment section, dead like that. So, shalom, everybody that's tuning in. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. If you got any precepts to add to the lesson to build this lesson, this ain't just for us; it's for everybody, man. So, I'm gonna start right here because I already addressed everybody else. The brother said, "Interesting topic, but you see, 12 years only. The colonizers have removed every good tradition we used to have that was great among us and loyal to Elas." Khan, I mean, we used to that. So, man, it ain't nothing. That's something we are used to. Shalom, Brandon. Shalom, Hebrew daughter. Shalom, Tazamat. That's my guy, Tazamat. He said, our women's mentality has been tainted with the way of the heathen. And that's exactly what we just witnessed, too. Our women's mind is tainted, man. They'll talk about polygyny all day, but they ain't got nothing to say about the LGBTQ community. How that stops reproduction, procreating. That stops that, but they ain't got nothing to say about that. They'll tell you to leave them alone. That's what they'll tell you, man. And the brother said, also, show polygyny is lawful in the Bible. Some of these Eve stopped believing in Yah. And that's what we're about to go into in a second. Hebrew daughter said, no, they shouldn't. He posted Sirach 25:13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Straight up. The brother posted Proverbs 31:3. Give not thy strength unto women, or the ways that which destroy kings. And both of these precepts go to not letting a woman rule over you. And that's in Sirach chapter 33. It tells you not to give power to any, not brother, sister, cousin, mother. I think it says wife too. Do not give them power over you. If that's a decision you want to make it, man. Because it's not like you going against God doing that. Now, like I said, it's not for everybody. If you just now coming into the truth, if you ask me, you should wait like years to do it. You got to get built up because you are responsible for these women. And if you fall, they fall. Straight up, you got to take that into consideration. If that's all you thinking about coming into the truth, then yeah, you need to wait, man. Straight up. But do not give your strength unto them. Like, you got women, I've heard this. Me and the captain, we heard this a lot. Even when General was with us, we used to hear this shit all the time. Is if you do that, I'm leaving. Bro, let her. If you really want to do that, let her leave, bro. She gonna come. She gonna try to come back. That's facts. But let her go experience. Hey, because you doing the will of the Most High God. You showing her you a king on the earth. Because that's something, that's sort of the world right there telling you, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to leave you. That's her having power. That's dangling power over you, man. Straight up. I mean, but I understand a lot of men, they ain't strong enough for that. Right? Hebrew daughters, no real woman would disrespect her husband or herself. Kind. See, you got women that actually understand that. Shalom King, Shalom Akim, and Akwaf of our great nation. All praise to the Most High. Love to Israel. The brother right here, he says, I'm for polygyny, multiple wives. My question, what would you say to brothers who seem afraid that the woman will consolidate to a few men, leaving other men without a woman? I don't understand that. Y'all understand that?
Hold on, can you read it again?
He said, I'm for polygyny, multiple wives. My question, what would you say to brothers who seem afraid that the woman will consolidate to a few men? Are you asking about if you get multiple wives, she's going to get multiple husbands?
That's what it sounds
If
like.
that's the case, then she's showing simply what we just brought out in Genesis 3 and 5, where the serpent said, I'll make you as gods. She's doing what she want to do too. And that's not biblical, man. There's an order, a ranking order. Because this is the mentality I always followed when I learned about polygyny. And I always ask this: how many children can a man have in 1 year? We know the answer to that. He can have 1,000. He can create a whole nation. One man and a nation of women. If it was one man here in America, all the rest of the men just died off, and it was just nothing but women there. He can repopulate it. But think about it if the other way around. How many children can a woman have in 1 year? They can only have one. Why is it like that? That's where we got to go back to the Bible and see why God created. Because the only way you can sustain yourself and learn and guide yourself through life is to learn from the one who created it. And that's the Most High God, man, in the Bible.
Got a precept.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Now, this isn't a righteous act, because I've heard people try to say this was a righteous or a good thing, a woman compassing a man. That is not the order of the Most High God. The Most High God, Paul gave the order in 1 Corinthians of the Most High God, and it wasn't the woman over the man. The righteous order, the divine order, was not the woman over the man. But here in Jeremiah 31, it says that a new thing was created. Why was it created? Because of sin. So what it sounds like that A-Dub is talking about is this: a woman compassing a man, and she's trying to be, what's that? The other one, polygamy. I know it's polygyny.
Yeah, polygamy.
Where one woman has multiple men, and that's what that sounds like. And we know for a fact that we got a lot of masculine women. They got that masculine spirit on them, which is a weak woman. A woman that is masculine is a weak woman, right? And she is undeveloped. I'm gonna keep using that word because that was a good word when we looked at the definition of it like that. She was undeveloped, and a man can be undeveloped too, but we're talking about a woman right now. But yeah, that sounds like an undeveloped woman, a woman that is that cannot be a real woman, that cannot be submissive. And if a man has to learn how to be taught to be masculine, a woman also has to be learned how to be taught to be feminine. And a lot of women don't know how to be feminine. That's all I got.
Gone. So A-Dub, he said, the next question, it's not a question. That's what the monogamy only crowd seems to low-key be afraid of. But that's cool. If you afraid of that, you the same one that'd be afraid to stand up for Yahweh Shah. You know why I say that? And I'm about to actually get it. Yahweh is polygyny. Now that might be too deep for a lot of people. Some people are like, wow. Okay, then read Jeremiah 3 and break it down for everybody then. Read Jeremiah 3. Why did he say he's married to the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom? That's a polygynous relationship, man. Break that down for us.
Hey,
why is Yahweh Shah talking about multiple wives
That's
in
all I'm
Matthew
saying.
65?
God.
Why is he doing that? And I'm gonna actually bring it out and show you. And if you against that, please break down Jeremiah chapter 3 for us and Matthew chapter 25. Why would Yahweh Shah use a parable that's unlawful? Make sense of that, man. So let's keep going. Hebrew daughter Kondabar, that is just nasty. Unique Shalom sis, melodic tunes. The brother said, if you have a time, read Judges 8, 30, 31. Not only did he have many wives, but concubines too. And guess what? There is a law on how to deal with concubines too. So, and a lot of people say that's unlawful to have heathen women as wives. Bro, go read the law then. You are going against God if you are saying that is unlawful. You are going against God if you're saying polygyny is unlawful. Straight up. So, M. Mitchells, he says, is marrying a divorced woman a sin? A sin as adultery, for she was given to a first man already. Now, I will say this. Yahushua already touched bases with us when he says that we are a wicked and adulterous generation. The only reason, and can you give me 2 Corinthians 5 and 17 right quick? 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. Right? I want to share something concerning this right here.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new.
So when you come into the under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, and if these are people that's already under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, under grace, who understand the knowledge of Yahushua, the Bible, then no, you cannot. But how can you do that if they don't know the Bible? They don't know God. They don't know the knowledge of the truth. You can't judge it like that. Now, you also can't be like, hey, you don't know God, so leave him, and then I'm going to teach you about who God really is, and you can be with me. No, you can't do that either. But if they already broken up, and then she come into the knowledge of the truth, yes, you can marry her. But what you talking about? Yeah, of course. But we talking about broken up. We ain't talking about this. They talking, but they not talking. We not talking about that, man. Let's be real. Use wisdom when we talking about broken up. They are done, man. There's no communication. Because the Bible does talk about a man putting away a woman. The Bible does talk about a woman putting away a man. Matthew 19 and Mark chapter 11. Right? Because a woman can put away a man too. So you really got to go into her history, man. If you're talking to a woman like that and she don't know the Bible, you actually got to go into her history. You know what happened? Like, why y'all split up? Why you leave? Ask those kind of questions. Don't ask how she can throw it back. Don't ask her, man, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. Well,
hey, Zion, feel me.
Right.
So to answer your question, when they come into the knowledge of Yahushua HaMashiach, then that's when we hold them accountable. You cannot hold somebody accountable who don't know God, who don't know the law. So, Khan, let's go to the next one. Baruch posted Ezekiel 23, 1 through 4. I don't know if one of y'all want to get that. Like I said, I don't know if you know, King, but we don't read precepts if you don't post a precept. If you just post it like that, we're not even going to read it. And that's no offense. The brother said, add this too. So the brother, he asked the question, what they don't know is that if they lay down with the concubine of one brother, they immediately commit adultery. They don't know that. So I will tell you this, that is true. That is true. But the law also says when a man has a concubine and he's done with her, then she's free to go out and do, as she please. Okay. That's a concubine. That's what makes a wife and a concubine different. A wife can't do that. A concubine can. Just to clear that up. And we can actually get that. That is Deuteronomy. Let me get it. Let me pull it up right quick. Deuteronomy 21. I'm going to pull it up for you right quick. Give me 1 second.
I got something too.
All right. I got it right here. So this is Deuteronomy 21 and 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, heathens, and the Lord thy God have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them a captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, a heathen woman, and has a desire unto her. You want her. You want to take her as a wife, a concubine, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity off from her, which is her clothing, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. 30 days you cannot touch her. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Now, this is the part right here. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, that means you don't want her no more, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. If she want to go deal with another brother, that's on her. This is the difference between an Israelite woman and a heathen woman. This shows you right here that we ain't equal. It says, and this is what this is what white women do anyway. This is what Chinese Moab, this is what Arab women do anyways. They want the next brother. It says, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. And that's the end of that context of dealing with a heathen woman. The next goes into you having 2 wives, which we was going to go into in a second anyway. But it says the only stipulations is you can't sell her for money and you can't make merchandise out of her. You can't sell her or pimp her out. But you can let her go and she going to do what she want to do. That's the law, bro. That ain't no advice. That ain't just wisdom. That's the law. You got to do that. Straight up. All right, you said you had something, Zion. Go ahead, King.
Let me get it real quick. So this is a popular couple that blew up on TikTok, and this is what it is. Low quality picture, but y'all get to see them. This is a man and his 2 wives, and you just have to have tough skin if you come into the truth, bro. That's just how it is. Look, and I was talking to Jeremiah about this when they started blowing up. I was like, why is it that when a man goes live or just any video where a man has 2 wives, especially if that's a black man, that black women just flood? I'm talking about absolutely like a fly to a light, bro. Just go straight to it. Because if you see their live streams, they be having 27,000, they be having 30,000. They be having so many viewers, and they're all black women, just to hate on this man because he has 2 wives. That's it. This man talks about finances, I believe. He talks about having 2 wives and whatnot. But I'm just like, every time there's a man with 2 wives, our women just love to just flood and just spam hate. They love to just bombard it, bro. And so, that's why he has to have tough skin. Not to go too much into their situations, but basically one of his wives apparently moved on or something. I don't know the whole story, but all the women are like mocking and scoffing and hypering up, saying good for her. She left and everything, Now I'm gonna say this is why sisters get with the brother that's in the truth. They're gonna have morals, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how he's looking at his 2 wives. He could be looking at them not as wives, or I don't know, So that's why we have guidelines of how to actually do it correct. But it shows you that people are really looking for, they looking to see how a man can live with 2 wives. They want to see it. That's why it's so interesting. He went live stream with 2 wives, and it's already at 30,000 views. That's a lot of people. But I just wanted to show y'all that, people are flocking to see polygyny relationships.
God, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen more and more.
Hey, so since you said that was beautiful, you brought that out, Zion. Now get Isaiah 4:1. That'd be perfect. Read 1 and 2.
As Isaiah
4:1. 30,000. That brother said it was mostly black women. They trying to figure out if it's bad or not, bro.
Yeah. Isaiah 4:1, it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
So that right there, this is gonna happen. A lot of people say it's gonna happen in the kingdom, but if you ask me, it's gonna happen in the kingdom. The polygyny is gonna happen in the kingdom, but I don't think it's this situation is gonna happen in the kingdom, because why would they need to say that in the kingdom? Right. So it's definitely gonna happen before the kingdom, if you ask me. Right? But read verse 2.
Okay.
Verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious.
So he's saying when these 7 women take hold of 1 man, it says that it's gonna be beautiful and glorious. So anybody that's going against that, you're going against the Lord, man. Straight up. But finish that out.
And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Because our people are dying at an alarming rate. Men, women, children, old people of the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we are dying at an alarming rate. That's why it's going to be beautiful and glorious, and it's going to be excellent. But you really have people walking around, and this is in their own mind. They can't prove that it's wrong. They just tell you it's wrong. Now, I ain't getting down with that. And they'll find any reason to prove that you wrong somewhere instead of accepting the fact, bro, that's what the Bible says. You can say how wrong I am all day, how I do this wrong, how I'm broke, I do all this. You know, they come up with anything. But, bro, the Bible says what it says. What are you going to do about that? You murmuring against God at this point, right? So, Khan, what else we had? We had
Salaki, I wanted to bring that Isaiah 4:1 out in the GNT as well. Okay. This is Isaiah 4:1 in the GNT. It says, "When that time comes, 7 women shall grab hold of one man, say, we will eat. We can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say, let us say you are our husband." It says, "Let us say you are our husband." So just in case y'all was a little skeptical about whether they being a wife, whether you being a husband, it literally says it in the GNT saying, let you be our husband. Also, I want to say this too. You got a lot of camps, I can't say a lot of camps, but you got a camp out there that's known in Israel that talks about multiple wives is a bad thing. They speak about it so harshly, they almost make it sound like it's a sin. But they agree that it's going to happen. They agree that Isaiah 4:1 is going to happen. That is a future prophecy that will happen. But they speak about it like it's a bad thing or a sin. I'm like, they so against it, and they talk about brothers that practice it. I'm like, why would y'all speak so down on it? Like, like I could see if you didn't believe in it, you know what I'm saying? That would make more sense. But you got brothers this is a righteous act. This is a righteous act. And you're speaking down on these brothers and sisters that are doing it. But then you say that it's going to happen. It's confusing.
And I bet you they got people in their congregation that practice it.
Yep, I believe it too. But Khan, that's all I want to bring out.
Khan, so with that being said, if you a man of the Lord, fuck what the world say. Stand up for the law, man. Now let's get that in the law. Deuteronomy 21, and let's start at 15.
Stand up,
right?
Man.
Can you get Psalms 94 and 16?
Hold on,
Joshua. Oh, okay, I'll get it then.
You said Deuteronomy 21?
Deuteronomy 21 and 15, but I'm gonna pull these out first since he ain't.
All right, Khan.
Because I want to do that anyway. So Psalms 94. Let's get what Psalms 94 says. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and 16. It says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?" Anybody that's speaking evil of the law is an evildoer. I don't care if it's one law. I don't care if it's a half a law. If you speaking against the law, you're an evildoer, man. And it says, "Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" Right? Because a lot of people, they push monogamy and they try to say polygyny is wrong. Now, like I said earlier, and I'm going to keep saying it, if you practice monogamy and that's easier for you, whatever the case, that's cool. But don't sit here and say that it's a sin to have multiple wives, and it's not, man. It's just not. So we going to stand up for the Lord. We're going to bring out these precepts and these articles, history on how we actually did this as a people. Now, I got this too I want to pull up since I'm thinking about it. I'll pull up my screen one more time. Let me pull this up. And I'm actually show right here. I think it's in polygyny. Right here, yeah. In polygyny, can y'all see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Con, it says polygyny is more widespread in Africa than in any other continent. Now check out where in Africa. Some scholars see the slave trade's impact on the male to female sex ratio as a key factor in the emergence and fortification of polygamous practices in regions of Africa. Polygyny is most common in a region known as the Polygamy Belt. In where? West Africa, bro. In West Africa. Why West Africa? Because I'm going to show you why. Let me get Babylon to Timbuktu. 1 second. God, so this is Babylon to Timbuktu, and this is page, let me see, right here. Remember, we got picked up on the west coast of Africa and brought here to the Americas. That's why this was practiced so much. Remember, the Israelites is the ones who practice polygamy more than any other nation, right? Remember, the nation of Israel was established off of polygyny. Jacob had 4 wives. People don't bring this. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Here it is, you saying you a Hebrew Israelite, but your forefather Jacob had 4 wives, but you against it. That makes no sense. So it says right here in Babylon to Timbuktu, page 90, the black Jews is saying black Jews, but the black Jews had an advantage over African tribes, predominantly the west coast of Africa. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This is how we had the advantage over other tribes, over Ham, because we carried everything with us, right? And remember, we just brought out how the Lord said, I have sown my law in you. But we actually had things written down. That's why when Esau came and got us, he brought us over here, we was fully naked. He stripped everything from us, man. I mean, think about it. You know, we so smart, we mess around, have a garment on, and on the inside of the garment, it got laws written down in it. So he had to take off everything. He brought us over here fully naked, man. But it says polygyny is most common in a region known as the Polygamy Belt, where it's most practiced. Polygamy Belt. And it's supposed to say polygyny, but it says in West Africa and in Central Africa, with the countries estimated to have the highest polygamy prevalence in the world being Burkina Faso, Mali, like the Mali Empire. We know that was Israelite. That was Jake. Gambia, Nigeria, Niger, and Nigeria. That's Jake. In the region of sub-Saharan Africa, with like the sub-Saharan slave trade, this is Jake. It says polygyny is common and deeply rooted in the culture. With 11% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa living in such marriages, 25% of the Muslim population. And think about it, the Quran, Quran means sight. They copied everything the Israelites did. This is why they practiced that. They got this from us, right? And I'm talking about from losing everything, they recited it by trying to get everything back by going back and be like, man, let's just do what let's just do what, our nephew Israel is doing. But it says in 3% of the Christian population as of 2019, polygyny is especially widespread in Africa, with the countries estimated to have the highest polygyny prevalence in the world as of 2019, being Burkina Faso, 36%, Mali, 34%. Go look at the Mali Empire and go see how they had priests. They had all of this, man, according to the law. Now, they was doing it wrong, of course, but they had all this. It says, and Gambia, 30%. Outside of Africa, the highest prevalence is Afghanistan, Yemen, and Iraq. This is the eastern side of the world where we practice polygamy, where we come from. But over here, right here, all this black, this is all America right here. And it says polygyny is illegal and the practice is criminalized. Come on, man. Put 2 and 2 together. All right. Did you have some? Because if not,
I had that 21. Deuteronomy 21.
Yeah, we're gonna get that in a second. So now let me go back to let me go to Joshua real quick. Let me go to Joshua 24. Joshua 24 and 15. Look what it says. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, now you got to ask yourself, how do you serve the Lord? How do you serve Yahweh? By keeping his commandments, by keeping the law. If it seemed, why? That's why he's saying, if this seemed evil to you, this is talking to us today too. Or we wouldn't need this. Why is it written? We don't need it. According to some people, we don't need this, man. Now we need all of the Bible. And it say right here, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. You're gonna serve Babylon, America, or you're gonna serve the Most High God and His law, statutes, and commandments. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwelt. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. This is the mentality that you have to have in these last days. You got to serve the Lord, man. That means even if you don't practice polygyny and your brother do, you got to stand up for the law. You got to stand up for your brother too. Straight up, man. But get that Deuteronomy. Let's get it in the law now.
All right, Con, this is Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 15. It says, if a man have two wives, one beloved.
You see that? So the context, 21 and 10 down to 14 is dealing with if you want a heathen to marry. Verse 15 is the different context talking about if you got two wives, right? And this is the law of inheritance of having two wives. But go ahead.
Con, if a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his son to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
So right here it's saying, let's use I'll use myself. If I have two wives, now when it say hated, it's not talking about you literally want to kill her. It's just talking about you don't find delight in her. You like, bro, you always messing up, you always doing this, you always doing that. And then you got this one wife, she's loved, she's doing everything you instructed her to do. Like that. So it's saying if you got two wives, this is the law here. If you have two wives, one loved and one hated, and they have borne him children, both of the wives have a firstborn. Both of the wives, they have a firstborn son. It says the inheritance goes to the wife, your oldest son, whichever's. So you got the wife. So I'm moving way too fast. Right. So start at 16 one more time.
Con. Then it shall be
15. So
15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated.
Yep.
And they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated.
Mm-hmm.
And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated.
So this is where it starts. This is where we pay attention to. If the son that's hated of the wife that's hated, that's your firstborn son. This is the son that gets a double inheritance. It don't matter if you hate her or not. Because Jake do that today. Like it's known that 50 Cent do that. He hated his baby mama, so he don't deal with his son at all. So there's a law dealing with this. Just because you hate her, that firstborn son, that's your generative power right there. He the one that's gonna keep you going. That's the one that has the most genes that you got is your firstborn son. Now, if your wife is hated, you still got to give him a double portion of your inheritance because he's your firstborn son, right? But the context is you having two wives. But go ahead.
Con. Speaking about the hated, it says, then it shall be when he maketh his son to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn,
which is the son that was of the wife that was hated. Straight up. But like I said again, the context is if a man have two wives, meaning it's lawful to have two wives. And this is the law. If it was wrong, why would God put this in the law? Go ahead.
God. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn. by giving him a double portion of all that he hath. For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
So
Or
the
of his is.
firstborn son of the wife that's hated gets a double portion of the inheritance that he has because he is the strength, meaning he is the generative power of the father, man. He's the one that's gonna keep the legacy going. Right? Even though you don't like, you're not really feeling that wife, you still got to give him a double portion. And the reason why Jake wouldn't, because he don't like the wife, he don't want her to have it, and he know that son is gonna give her some of that. So he like, nah, I ain't doing it. But the law say, nah, you got to do that. You better do that. There's a law on this, man. This ain't no suggestion. This is this is a law, man. All right, let's get another one. Let's get Exodus chapter 21 right quick. This is where it's first spoken of, Exodus 21, and let's start at 7.
All right, hey, can you get my charger to this laptop? Let's go. All right, this is Exodus 21 and 7. It says, and if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the manservant do.
Right, after 6 years, remember, after 6 years, you have to let the manservant go. Unless he make a vow to stay with you forever, then you put an all in his ear. AUL, all in his ear. But it says the maidservant, which is a woman, she can't go out as a man do after 6 years. This should tell you something right here. Why is it like that? Women today, men today too, they be like, that ain't right. Now, I don't agree with that. That ain't right. This is what God said. We don't give a. This is why the Lord said, who gonna rise up against the evildoers? Who gonna stand up against the workers of iniquity? For me. You got to choose this day who you gonna serve, man. But keep going.
It says, Exodus 21 and 8. It says, if she please not her master who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her go, let her be redeemed. To sell her.
Right. So if he sell his daughter and she don't please her master, then she can only be brought back to her house where her father was. That's what it's saying. She shall be brought back. Redeemed is brought back. Like how we gonna be redeemed back to the Lord, she's gonna be redeemed back to the house that she came from. But go ahead.
Then shall he let her be redeemed to sell her unto a strange nation. He shall have no power, seeing
right. So it's saying, she have to be redeemed back to her house, but he can't sell her unto a strange nation. He ain't got no power to do that. Right. But go ahead.
Okay, kind of. Seeing he has dealt
deceitfully
with her.
Yes,
he have dealt deceitfully with her.
Now I'm starting at 7 to get the context of what it's talking about, but 10 is the point, because I know a lot of people they just start at 10, and a lot of people say they don't understand it. So we're gonna start at 7 in the context. But let's keep going.
And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters.
Right. So if a man sell his daughter to the master, and the master say, I want her to marry my son, right? It says that the master shall treat her as a daughter because she's married to your son now. Now, read verse 10.
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
Right. So if this man, after he betrothed this woman to his son, it says if he take another maidservant and give her to his son, the same duty applies that he, for the first wife that he gave to his son. He shall not take away from that. That means he got to perform his duties. Now, a lot of people, they'll say, okay, read verse 11. They'll try to do this.
And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money.
Now, according to the law, that is facts. But then this is why we have the Gospels. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 19. Because this goes right with Matthew 24. This goes for the woman and the man. Right here, we're dealing with the woman. It says if he don't complete these duties, she can just leave him. But it says that in Matthew 24 too, dealing with the man, right? If he don't find no delight in her eyes, he can just leave. I mean, he can just get rid of her. But let's see what Yahushua said though.
Verse 8.
Matthew 19. Let's start at 3.
Verse 3. It says, the Pharisees also, in Matthew chapter 19, verse 3, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, it is lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause. Verse 4.
You see, it's saying they was tempting him, because in Deuteronomy 24 it says that. It already says, it's like, why you asking me if the law say that? It says if you don't find no delight in your eyes, you don't want her no more, then you can do that. If you find any uncleanness in her, you can do that. So why are you tempting him? That's why it makes sure it said tempting him, right? But go ahead.
Verse 4. And he answered and said unto him, have ye not read that he have made them at the beginning, made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twine shall be one flesh.
So he went way back to Genesis. He dealt with it in righteousness. He went back farther. He's like, bro, this is not how it's supposed to be. And then he's going to explain to them why that's written. But keep going.
Fine. Wherefore they are no more twine, but one flesh. That therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
All right. And that's what Genesis say. Go ahead.
Fine. They say unto him, why do Moses then command to give a writing of divorce, and to put her away?
Right. So we can deal with this with Exodus 21 and 10 too. If he not doing every single thing critically, she can, because a woman, she'll find out any reason, just like the man would in Deuteronomy 24. But this is where Yahushua come in. He's magnifying it all. Right. But go ahead.
He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardening of your heart, suffereth you to put away your wife, but from the beginning it was not so.
And we can use this with the Exodus 21 and 10. The same thing applies. So you're trying to tell me just because he can't perform this duty every single day, you free to go. You can just leave. Imagine the women today. I mean, if women really knew that that Exodus 21 and 10 was there, they would probably use that. They would probably use this in every relationship that I can leave. God said I can leave. They'll totally disregard what Yahushua say. And they're like, don't it say that in your book? It say that in your book, right? They'll use that. But this is what Yahushua say. He says, Moses did this because y'all got some hard heads, man. Y'all got hard hearts, man. Y'all just ready to do whatever pleases you. He said, but from the beginning, it wasn't like that. Now read verse 9 and we'll be done with this.
God, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commit adultery. And whosoever marry her which is put away, doeth commit adultery.
You see that? You heard what he said. He said, if you do that, you commit adultery. Now I got another one, because it actually deals with the woman too. Yahushua said that about the woman too. Where is it at? Right here. So it says right here. It says the same thing, but it's a little bit different. You would think it is. He's covering all grounds. So this is Mark 10. It's saying the same thing if you start from the, verse 5. It says, but I'm going to get the point. Verse 11. And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her. Look what it say right here. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she commit adultery. So he covering both grounds, bro. He talking to the man and the woman. So this Exodus 21, it's not like it's null and void. But Yahushua came and magnified, like, bro, y'all just find any reason to try to get rid of y'all spouse. Right. Straight up. Straight up. All right. Did y'all have anything y'all want to bring up?
All right, we got to get that 25, Matthew 25. I don't know.
Con, go ahead, King. And I want to get that Jeremiah 3 too, and then we can close out.
All right, Con, this is Matthew 25, verse, real quick. Matthew 25 and 1. It says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. I'll read it again. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamp and went forth to meet the bridegroom. So this is Yahushua comparing, showing how the kingdom of heaven is liking unto 10 virgins, man. This is a righteous act. This is a righteous parable. This is not an unrighteous parable, man. He's giving you righteousness. He's magnifying laws and giving you parables at the same time, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Mastermind. Yahushua was a mastermind at this. So magnified the law. He gave us something that was righteous. This is not wicked. A lot of people forget this scripture when it comes to talking about multiple wives in the New Testament. They overlook this. They seem to forget this. That Yahushua gave us an example of, a righteous example of the kingdom of heaven being likened unto 10 virgins.
God. So you heard what the brother said. Now let's get another one. Let's get another one right quick. Let's go to Jeremiah. So we got one in the Old Testament. We got one in the New Testament. And the brother asked a question. He said, why other camps be saying poly is a sin? You know why? And I'm going to be real with you. It's because a lot of them have a big following, and they know that, you know, ties and arms and all that come into play when you got a big following. And they know if they teach that a lot of women going to leave, a lot of men going to leave too. And that stops their revenue from coming in. And that's just what it is, man. That's just like the 501c3 thing. You can't teach certain things, or you can't keep that money. You got to go pay for your own building and do all this. Straight up, man. There's no way you can only say that it's only in. Here it is. We got to rehearse the righteous acts right here. And the laws are going to be written on our inward parts. We talking about Deuteronomy 21, 10 through 14 when it's dealing with a heathen on what we're supposed to do with her. Like, Lord willing, if we make it, when we go around all these nations, think about it, Africa, I'm just throwing a number out there. We're going to be going around Africa. That's going to take like 100 years to go around the whole Africa, conquering all these people. We ain't even went to Asia yet, the biggest continent on earth. It's going to take a long time to do this. And this is the law that we're supposed to follow as we going through these other nations. Straight up. This law is this same law from Deuteronomy 10 to 14 and Deuteronomy 15 to 17 is going to be on your inward parts. You're going to automatically know to do it. We're supposed to rehearse it now, and it's going to be written on our inward parts pretty soon. Man, don't listen, man. You can listen to whoever you want to, but I'm going to tell you straight up, listen to the Bible, bro. You're like, bro, that ain't what the Bible say, though. You can simply see that. Right? So you want to say something, King?
Law.
God, this is Jeremiah 3 and 6. Right? And this is to show that Yahweh is polygynous. It says, the Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done? She has gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot. Have played the harlot means you sleeping with all other nations. If you read Ezekiel chapter 18, you will know exactly what he's talking about. This is why you got to study to show yourself approved. You will know what he's talking about. The Lord said, I clothed you. I put a beautiful dress on you. I put jewelry all on you. I did all these things, meaning I gave you a land flowing with milk and honey, and you still went and cheated on me. So he says, and there have played the harlot. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, when you read that too, that Ezekiel, man, it sounds heartbroken. That's how he sounds like he's, his heart is broken when when you read that. That's
But it is.
Yeah,
why you think he did us the way he did?
Yeah, it's tough to hear, man. It's tough to see.
Brother, the Lord is Yahweh is heartbroken, man. Why do you when you look at the atrocities on what happened to us? You can look at that as Jake. When his wife cheated on him, look what he'd do to her. Look what he'll do. He'll do to her substance, to her. He don't care. He don't care about nothing. That's how the Lord was. Man, his wrath was burning. And this is where you get in the 1800s, all the atrocities that was done to us.
So like,
that was Lord being heartbroken. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I haven't been in a long-term relationship or nothing, but I could even attest to that. Like, always when I hear that scripture, I always think of like I was at the bus and it was like this was like middle school, and I had like, you know how you say somebody's your girlfriend, they just, you know, you just hold hands, but basically, what happened was somebody said that she cheated, and my heart like had like an ache. It was like a damn heartache. And I laugh at it. I'm like, if I'm in middle school and I almost dropped dead because somebody said the girl that I hold hands with in the hallways, that she cheated on me. I'm like, how the hell a man with wife and kids and has a whole foundation with this woman and she goes commit adultery? I'm like, if I almost felt like I had because I was like, I remember that. I'm like, bro, why did my heart hurt? Like my heart was like it was about to stop. So I was like, bro, like, dude, you that could, yeah. But it's funny, but I'm not laughing. Right. It's funny, but it's not. But what I'm saying is, yeah, that stuff can kill people. That's why men kill people over women. They kill people because that's their livelihood. That's like one person they thought they could trust, that they needed. And when she go commit adultery, you see people stab the wife and the adulterer, kill both of them right in the act, like just straight up. It's just crazy.
Hey, imagine you dedicated your life to one woman. You know how you is. You know who you is, but you want to you so-called turn your life around for one woman, and she been cheating on you the whole time. Come on, bro. Come on. That's just like the story with Floyd Mayweather. The dude, his wife, he found out his wife slept with Floyd Mayweather, and what he do? He went and commit suicide. And Floyd Mayweather denied that to this day because he know how heartbreaking that can be. Straight up. Right? So it says right here, it says, verse 7. It says, I'm going to read through it. 6. The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. Damn. And her treacherous sister. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 1. It says, they say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall she return unto him again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said the Lord. This is how much he love us.
Right.
He's like, bro, y'all was some hoes, and I still want you to come back to me.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's be real here.
Oh, contrary harlot.
Yeah. He was giving away
He said, verse 7, and I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. So the northern kingdom, he's like, bro, you see what she doing? You see what my wife is doing? She out here playing a harlot. And he said, your sister saw it, like Jacob. Jacob was married to two sisters. I mean, if you're a spiritual man, it makes sense. The Lord did it with us, so he caused it to happen with Jacob too. Or the other way around, however you want to look at it. It says, and I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it, which is the southern kingdom. And I saw, when for all the causes there whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery. How? This is the Lord talking. He said, bro, you committed adultery on me. He says, I had put her away. That's what happens. That's the law. When she committed adultery, you put her away. But the Lord said, hey, even though you did that, return to me, man. I love you that much. He says, and given her a bill of divorce, yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not. So he's like, when I divorced the northern kingdom and took them out the land, they went into captivity under the Syrians, and I got them all the way out their land. He said, man, her sister seen it, and she wasn't even scared. She wasn't even scared on what I did to her. This is the Lord talking in a marriage standpoint. He's married to both nations, the northern and the southern kingdom. And he said, I divorced the northern kingdom, the Hispanics, the Native Americans, and so on. And he said, bro, the southern kingdom, I'll let y'all stay in my house, which is the homeland. I'll let y'all stay in my house for, you didn't fear me. It says, but went and played the harlot also with the other nations, man. And that is Isaiah chapter 2 and 11. It says, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. That's how we commit adultery against God, idolatry. And yet for all this, but it's still polygyny, however you look at it. Now, yes, it's spiritual with the Lord. Of course, the Lord not laying down with us. And that's why the marriage of the Lamb is going to come. He's going to reunite us back to Yahweh. He's going to marry us again, according to Revelation 19. But it says, and yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, said the Lord. And the Lord said unto me, Salakia, 1 second. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Right. And that's why when the northern kingdom got kicked out the room, they never came back because the Lord was very angry with them. Remember, they was making priests out of the northern kingdom. He was very angry with them. It says, you want to say something?
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
It says, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel, northern kingdom, said the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, said the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. This is just like a heartbroken man. He like, bro, just stop doing what you're doing. Let's go back home. I don't know if you've seen the Tyler Perry movie. It's called Temptation. That's what he said to her. He was like, man, let's just stop all of this and let's just go back home. She was like, hell nah, I'm happy. I'm doing drugs. I get to live the life I want to live. She was disobeying her mother in the church, all of that. She was glad, but look how it turned out for her. Look how it turned out for the northern kingdom. We look at it in reality. We like, damn, y'all did the Native Americans bad, Esau. But the Lord like, yeah, because they committed adultery against me. It says, only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Lord. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you. Come on now. He's married to the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. This is a polygynous relationship. This is why he put it in the law. This is why he with it, because he do it. And I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you the pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And this is where we at, the point we at now. We're ready to go back home, but he's giving us the pastors. He's giving you the pastors according to his heart and what he wants you to do in order to come back and be remarried to him, according to Revelation 19. For the marriage of the Lamb has come. We go out to the highways and byways and bid them to the marriage. Straight up, man. You got something else? Because if not, I'm gonna close out with this.
That's all I got.
God. So bear with me. I'm gonna show you how God don't change, and we out of here. We gotta end off with that. God don't change. So this is Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord. For I am the Lord. I change not. That means he is still married to us. Well, he divorces, but he's about to be married to us again. Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, which means still in 2023, he is polygynous. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Right? Got another one. Let's go to the New Testament. James 1:17, it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. That means the Lord does not go in a different direction. He always stays on the same path, the same idea. He got the same judgments. I mean, come on. The Lord has the same judgments he's always been using on us. Let's go back to Numbers. Numbers 23:19. He says, God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. And when you repent, that means you had a change of heart. You had a change of mind. Right? That's what we're doing. We're repenting from the mindset that we had. To the Lord, it says God is not a man. He's not going to repent. He's not going to change his mind. So y'all got to take this into consideration, man. It says, have he said and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken and shall he not make it good? Straight up, man. You got anything else, Akim?
Lie.
God, so, hey. Lord willing, everybody was edified, man. We was on this live stream for 2 hours exactly. Like I said, Lord willing, you was edified, even if it was just a little bit, man. And Lord willing, we can go live again tomorrow. If not, we'll get back with the congregation the next day. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. Polygyny is in the Bible, and polygyny is not a sin, right? Monogamy is not a sin, but we have to do it according to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Shalom.
Shalom. Rakatha.